all that land, you should be like me, miserable in Brooklyn. I'm 46, and I'm miserable. I'm single. I live in a section of Brooklyn that's coming up. I'm 46. And the time to do that's when you're 19, you know? But that's why this stuff is all catchy. But there's polyamory stuff, but it feels like engineered. I don't know anyone. Well, I don't know anybody who's polyamorous. I know people that are not. It's my godson. Should we answer? Should we answer my godson? Should he be on the pod?
Sure.
It'd be kind of interesting to have him on the podcast. My godson was watching the Tucker interview with Putin and clapping. I don't know what it means. But I watched that whole interview. I'll tell you what I think about that. It's very hard to me because Putin, I've known him for a very long time, and we have a lot of our social circle is Hi, Roland, say hello on the podcast.
He said he wanted to go to Timmy today.
You want to go to my house, Roland? You can take him to the pool. You can go to the pool if you want. Take him to the pool. China. Play him the interview with Vladimir Putin. Tucker Carlson just did an interview with Vladimir Putin. It's very important for him to watch because that is his ally. Putin is your ally.
Hi.
Putin is your ally.
Where do you want to go today, Roland?
He's so happy. You can take him to the pool and then play him Putin.
He was yelling at the museum.
All right, well, I'm in the middle. I do have to finish this podcast, but goodbye, Roland. Putin.
Rolling.
It's interesting because Putin called me, and we don't talk as much as we used to, and it is fun when he calls. And here's the thing about him, he has a very subtle sense of humor. And I appreciate that because I'm more gregarious and Latin, and that's why it always worked as a friendship, because friendships need to kind of have those opposite components. And his clan is from St. Petersburg, and I know more people in Moscow, but there's an overlap. And he called me and said, I'm going to have Tucker on. And I said, go. I said, you know what? I said, do a whole thing. I said, give him a dissertation. And he goes, no. I go, do it. And he did it. That's for the people that think that I really know Putin. That there are people that watch your show that think like Russia pays me. Because I've questioned our policy, our dedicated policy of nuclear war. The American defense establishment's dedicated policy of more nuclear war. I watched the interview. Favorite part was when Putin was like, hey, he said to Tucker, he goes, hey, thank God you didn't get into the CIA, because Putin doesn't respect anyone who doesn't have real power. And what's cool about that moment is Putin actually respects like the CIA, because he said, they were always our enemies, but he goes, a job's a job. And he kind of smiles, because if all you fight against is the CIA, you kind of have a respect for them. Which with Putin, his entire life, he's been fighting against this one group of people, right? And the way he said that to Tucker, Putin doesn't care about people in the media. He doesn't, I don't think he really respects the media. This is not, so when he said that, he's like, oh, thank God you didn't get into the CIA. He was basically like, I would have respected you if you were here to poison me, because that's the type of guy he is. And that's the thing. Here's why Putin is, even though he murders people, here's what's interesting about Putin. He's not on TikTok. This is what we like about Putin. He's a relic of another age. Let's say that about him. He's an armchair philosopher. He's grandpa. If, grandpa had hundreds of nuclear weapons. He's a relic. He's not really interested in the new media landscape. We can say that. That's not, he's not interested in that. What Putin Putin orients himself from his position. He's the first answer was 30 minutes. He goes, "This is why I believe what I believe." Is it junk? Was he filibustering? Is it whatever? None of that matters because this is the guy. This is his perspective. You don't live in Russia, so the reality of the situation is, my